Whenever I've had frijoles or beans in Mexico City, there's just a little something in there that I just couldn't quite pinpoint. But thanks to a cooking class I took, my instructor Alberto let us in on the signature ingredient, Epazote. Today, we're gonna use this aromatic herb to make some kick-ass refried black beans at home. We have that herb of the day, and that is these beautiful Epazote leaves. Let's talk about these a little bit. So Epazote leaves are an aromatic herb that are used in a variety of dishes across Mexico, from soups to rices, beans, different sauces, you name it. It really is used in a variety of things. And it's pretty much always used in this fresh form. I would kind of akin it to maybe how we use bay leaves to provide some aromatic flavor, except obviously bay leaves are dried and this is almost always used in the fresh form. So today we're gonna be using this in the refried black beans, but I'm actually also filming a enchiladas rojas video where I will be using this as well. And then on the channel before, I've done them for my chilaquiles recipe as well. So it's really a versatile herb that is really used in a bunch of different dishes. And we'll do a little live taste test right now. It's like it's kind of like a bitterish, pungent, like kind of hard to describe to be honest, but it's like this nice kind of fresh flavor, a little bit of like pungent bitterness, I would say. But obviously, you know, we're not gonna use like this whole bunch in it. We're just gonna use like a little handful or something. So it's not gonna like overpower the dishes, but it provides this nice kind of hint of something that is what I've been tasting when I've had beans in Mexico. And outside of cooking, it's actually also said to have some medicinal qualities to it. I think I was reading it can be used as like a treatment for dysentery, and it's also said to prevent flatulence, so maybe that's kind of why it's paired with beans all the time. But regardless of those qualities, today we're using it for the flavor to make our refried beans. So I'm gonna quickly walk through the rest of the ingredients. So here are the rest of our ingredients. First up, we have some black beans, and these are actually just from a can. I just strained them off. Normally, I would say to use dried black beans and cook them, but for me, like I have to soak them overnight, and I'm actually leaving this Airbnb tomorrow, so that wasn't an option for me. But basically what I did was just completely strain these off, and I did that for a reason because I don't want like that liquid in there, because we're actually gonna be flavoring it with some chicken stock, which is gonna provide a lot more flavor to kind of thin out the beans. And then for our other ingredients, it's really just some aromatics. So I've got a little bit of white onion that we're just gonna finely dice up and saute. And I've got 2 cloves of garlic that you guys are gonna have to wait and see how I use these. It provides a bunch of extra flavor, and it's a little bit of like almost like a little bit of like a topping on top. And then obviously throughout, we're gonna be using our salt to kind of help saute the onion down just a little bit, and then we'll add some at the final taste test once our beans are all mashed up, you know, with the chicken stock and things. So the first order of business is to just chop up our aromatics and pluck up some of these leaves from the Epazote. So I have all of our ingredients ready to go. And the first thing that we're gonna do is use this thinly sliced garlic. So basically what I'm gonna do is fry this in some oil until it's like kind of golden brown and crispy. And then I'm actually gonna pull it out, and that's gonna be used as like kind of a final garnish that you can sprinkle on top of the beans. It's gonna provide a bunch of nice extra flavor and that little bit of crunch, as opposed if you just left it in with the beans, it would kind of just become one soggy mass, but I want a little bit of like that textural difference. So let me fry up the garlic real quick, and then we'll talk about the rest of our components because this comes together really, really fast. So we've got that toasted up garlic, and what you really need to do is just make sure you do not burn them. If you burn them, seriously, just start over because the garlic will get really, really bitter. You can see how these are like nice and kind of golden brown, and so what I'm gonna do is just basically sprinkle all of this on top of the refried black beans, and that's gonna give it that nice texture and crunch that like normally refried beans lack. So with the garlic out of the way, this is gonna come together really fast. So what I'm gonna do is saute down our finely diced onion in that same oil. That garlic imported some of the flavor into the oil, so perfect use for that. Then I'm going to add in our beans and the chicken stock, and I'm gonna start mashing the beans together. And then your chicken stock is what is gonna control the consistency of your beans. So if you like it a little bit chunkier, use less chicken stock. If you like it a little bit runnier, use more chicken stock. Once I've got that consistency, I'm gonna come in at the end with the epazote leaves and kind of let everything kind of stew down for like 5 to 10 minutes. And then we'll just have these beautifully gorgeous and flavorful black beans. And as they cook, they're probably gonna get a little bit drier, so don't be afraid to just come in with a little bit more chicken stock. And if you're not using chicken stock, you can just use water too, it's no big deal. I think we've got everything covered though. Let's make these black beans. And just like that, it comes together really, really fast. Threw the onions in, then the beans, mushed them down a little bit, then started pouring in our chicken stock, then adding those epazote leaves, letting everything kind of stew down a little bit. Pulled the epazote leaves out, and then just thinned it out with a little bit more chicken stock. And then make sure you guys are adding in like a little nice sprinkle of salt. Gonna help amplify all those flavors. And then to serve it, I put a little ring of those nice little fried garlic bits, and then toss in a little bit of cilantro and crema. You could add other things if you wanted to. A lot of times they'll maybe throw a little sprinkle of cotija cheese, but man, no matter how you do it, if you get the base right, you're gonna have something delicious. Let's give it a taste. Such a solid refried bean recipe. Let's get a bite with this garlic. And the garlic's so nice too, because you get like a little, that crunch in there, which is not typical of refried beans when you're eating them. I mean, unless you had it with like chips or something. And this is such a simple and delicious recipe that could come together really quickly. I mean, minus the epazote leaves, like you kind of already have everything, like onion, garlic. You probably got a can of black beans lying around in the pantry. You know, maybe you have some cilantro, maybe not, but you can definitely have like the base of this recipe ready in like absolutely no time. So I'll have the recipe for this down in the description of the video if you guys want to try it out. But hopefully you all enjoyed the video. Hope you learned a little something about epazote leaves and how they can be used in cooking. Like I said, I've got an enchiladas video that I'm planning to film actually just later this afternoon. So that one will be coming out as well. Got to do a bunch of edits. Basically, I'm front loading all my filming right now into like 2 days. I think I'm filming like 4 or 5 videos in like 2 days, but all the editing's happening next week so I can, you know, go explore the city a little bit more instead of just being inside in Mexico. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.